Hi, everybody. Welcome to our team call. I'm super excited, like super duper duper excited to introduce our speaker tonight. She's nervous. Don't know why, because she's an amazing, amazing person. And she has an amazing story that she's going to share with y'all about her journey with Beachbody. But this is Brandi. Brandi, raise your hand. Brandi. We actually met. She's a part of Destined for Greatness, which is part of our Uplines team. And we actually met on the cruise last year, right? That's when we met?
I think so.
Yeah, on the cruise last year. Well, we may have met at Summit the year before, but like we didn't really like talk until the cruise last year. And then we became friends and we hung out, and her husband is like the funniest person alive. I just love him and her, and they just crack me up. And she's been coaching for 4 years. And so I actually didn't even know her story with Beachbody until Punta Cana. And when I heard it, I was like, oh my God, how did I not know this? Even though we've been friends for like over a year. So I asked her to speak on our call because I think that she can share a lot of insight and value into our team. So I'm going to give it away to her. I'm going to mute myself because my dogs will probably start barking. But if y'all have questions like throughout, just feel free to use the little chat box below, ask your questions there, or we'll just wait till the end and do a Q&A if you have any questions, okay? So take it away, Brandi. You're going to do amazing, my friend.
Oh, this is so nerve-wracking. I am such a huge introvert, so talking, even like in a group of like my family, I get nervous. I'm such a weirdo. All right, so I've made notes. Oh, you can't see that, whatever. As like a timeline of like my story. I'm going to go back to 2008. I had just given birth to my second son, and at the same time starting a divorce. I found out my husband at the time was cheating on me when I was 7 months pregnant. So we had gone from making about $80,000 a year to about 25 overnight. I was a single mom, scared to death. My parents are still together, so I had no idea what I was getting into. Just the thought of it just scares me still today if I ever had to do that again. Fast forward to 2009. I'd just given birth to a little girl. After suffering a miscarriage, I suffered a miscarriage at the end of 2008. Right after I had that miscarriage, I had to have a D&C done because my body was not rejecting the pregnancy. 2 months later, I found out I was pregnant again with twins. About almost the end of my first trimester, miscarrying started happening again. But when I went to the hospital, they said, it's twins, you're losing both. All right, we just did this. We can do it again. We're strong. I went to the doctors a week later. There was one baby, still going really strong. They put me on bed rest, put me on a bunch of medicine to keep her, and now I have my little redheaded demon child is what I call her. So I gave birth in 2009. Finances were very tough. I had no help from my ex-husband. I was bartending, and I was working at a brokerage firm, working 65 hours a week just to make ends meet. I quit the bar job because there's no way you can really do that with all that going on. And I just worked full time at my other job. One night I was up late nursing and decided, hey, I have a 1-year-old, a 5-week-old, and a 5-year-old. Let's go back to school while working full time. So I did. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I was just going to do it. I went back to law school, of all things, law school. That didn't work out, but I decided to continue going to school to finish my bachelor's. And I ended up getting a degree in forensics, of all things. Shortly after going back to college, I was in a really horrific car accident. Totaled my Jeep, flipped, spun around, ended up with 8 herniated discs, 4 in my neck, 4 in my back. I had This is 2011. I had a ton of doctor's appointments, probably about 6 a week. I was going through medical procedures. I was having injections done into the back of my skull, into some nerve up here, and epidurals done into the back of my neck. I was crippled, like beyond crippled. It was not even funny. The doctors told me I was too young for surgery. So this was the way of life. This is how I had to do it. I had babies at home. There was just no way I could live like this. That same year, the divorce was finally finalized. He left me with extensive debt. And what I mean by extensive debt, I was on the edge of filing bankruptcy. He stole credit cards and racked them up over $25,000 worth. I had moved out because he refused to leave. And he moved his girlfriend in and her 3 kids, and they lived in our house that we were paying a mortgage on for a year without paying the mortgage. I was served at work with foreclosure papers. I had no idea he wasn't paying. So I contacted my realtor who sold me the house, and I sold it from underneath him. That was my revenge, and it was nice. So in 2012, I graduated college with high honors. Don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. I had my back against the wall. I needed to do something to create a better life for me and my 3 babies. I got remarried to John, who is a stand-up guy and has literally picked me off the ground when I was at my weakness and helped support me, my 2 little boys, and now my daughter. 2012, it seemed like things were starting to really look up. So we thought. In 2013, my husband started a new company, which now is doing great, but starting a new company left us with one income again, back down to $30,000 a year for a family of 5. It's not a lot of money. And where we live on the water in Pinellas County, Florida, which is a very expensive county in Florida. Because we were, back to one income, me being in constant pain, 8 herniated discs is probably the worst pain. I'd rather go through labor 10 times over than have that back and neck pain. Depression set in, and I just literally was in bed all day long, other than going to work and coming home. At that time, someone had posted on Facebook about Beachbody. It's kind of struck an interest, but being on food stamps, welfare, state assistance, begging churches to keep your lights on was just not something I could pay for at the time. There was no way I could even think about spending any money on anything other than my kids and keeping them fed. That was 2013. 2014, something just had to give. There was no way that we could live like this. It was just pure, absolute hell. State assistance dropped us because $30,000 a year apparently is too much money to make to get help. My body was just tired of fighting. I contemplated suicide again. I had, back when I was a teenager, tried it, didn't work, thank God. John was wanting to send me away to get help, but once again, we couldn't afford it, so he did literally everything to keep me here. And once again, that Beachbody thing showed up on Facebook again. I had seen people flourish with this, so I knew for some reason, this had to have kept popping up. So I was like, you know what? I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And I talked to John, and he's like, there's just no way, we can't afford it. And being left with all that debt from my ex-husband, I couldn't even get a credit card. I couldn't even get a bank secured credit card. I had zero credit. I went from having like a 750 to a 300, the lowest of the lows in credit. So we talked about it, and we're like, you know what? We'll save $20 a week. And I did. I saved $20 a week until I could afford my challenge pack. And I had it saved, and I mean, do the math. I can't even think. So I saved it, and I signed up as a coach immediately because I knew that by signing as coach, you got the 25% discount. And at that time, I needed to save as much money as I could. 6 months after starting coaching, I was able to start cutting back on medications. Mind you, I was on 11 different medications a day just to function. And that didn't count any of those shots and steroids, and it didn't count any of that. About 9 to 11 months after starting Beachbody, I had 0 procedures. I did not have to do another epidural, another needle into the back of my skull, nothing. And we were able to come off every single state assistant program we were on, everything. My advice for those who are having money objections, they're going to happen. People just aren't going to be able to afford it, no matter how you present it to them. They're just not going to be able to afford it. Get personal with these people. Invest in them. And if they truly want to make a change in their life, then they'll make it happen. One way or another, they're going to make it happen. Remember to follow up with them. That's where I failed and continue to fail. But I'm a work in progress. So just continue to follow up with them and let them know that you are there for them and not there to make a sale off of them. You're going to get no's, but I can guarantee you down the road, they'll get sick of their circumstances that they're in, and they'll do whatever it takes, like I did. You're going to get that sick of everything that's happening in your life, and you're just going to want to make a change. And if not, just continue to be their friend. Just don't, I don't know. I've had people from other companies, and I have no company in particular, but people from other companies just sending that mass message out, and you know they're there for the sale. Just be a friend. Hold on. Say hi, Alexa.
Hi.
All right. Okay, get off. Good night.
Who
I
you
love you.
talking to?
All my friends. Good night. I
At
love
the
you.
same time?
Yep. Good night. Go. Sorry. That's the joy of doing this with kids. I had to get Dad involved. But that's really my story. I mean, it's a lot, and I really condensed it down. But even through hard times, I mean, Anthony can contest to this. I tried quitting this so many times, but then I would look at like my team, and I'm like, I'm giving up on them, when I should have been looking at my family and saying I'm giving up on them. But you just gotta, I will never leave Beachbody. I mean, for all that it's done for our family, even though I'm not top 10 coach, I don't want to be top 10 coach. I just want them happy. I want to be happy. And that there is the world. Jesse?
You did amazing.
I didn't cry.
You didn't cry. She was really worried she was going to cry, y'all. She's like, I might cry. I'm like, it's okay. We cry all the time. You're good. You did awesome. Does anyone have any questions? I know some people hopped on a little bit late. And I know it's like only 8:20, so we have some time to. She ran through it. She knew what she wanted to talk about. Does anyone have any questions or want to say anything? Ashley has her hand up.
Of course, I have a question. So I'm just curious, like with all your back problems, what program did you start with?
I started with Slim and Six.
Old program.
And which program did you advance up to?
I've done literally all of them. After Slim and Six, I tried Insanity because my husband was doing Insanity. That I just couldn't. I could not do the jumping. It was too much. I would be back in bed for days. I did Slim and Six for a while, and then 21 Day Fix came out, and that's been my heart for all of it. I got the most results from that one.
Anyone else have a question? Ashley, was that your only question?
That was my only question tonight.
Old school.
Does anyone else have any questions about Brandi's story? Anything? Brandi, I have a question. Kind of. So as far as like when you wanted to quit coaching, and I know you said like you kept looking at your team saying like I'm giving up on them. What kind of helped you? Like, have you fallen off track and maybe like let other life events get in your way? And then how did you get back into it? How did you kind of reignite that flame to getting back into it? Or have you always been like super present within, sharing and stuff?
No, I haven't. Usually what gets me back on track is a challenger or someone reaching out to me, asking me where I've been, what I've been doing. I mean, because we're real people. I can't be eating perfectly healthy all the time or working out. Heck, I hate working out. But I know that by not working out, I can be back in bed all damn day. I'm not having it. So I know that working out isn't only my job, but a requirement from me ending up with that back surgery. So usually it's challengers. I had a family friend who is very overweight reach out to me in tears because her doctor said she was dying because she was killing herself with food. And that was at one of my lowest points. And I'm like, you know what? She's reaching out to me for a reason. I've obviously have shown some kind of light on her at some point. I need to get back in this because if I can help her, I can help so many more people if I just shared more. If I mean, I'm not a seller. I don't like selling nothing. I like to give away. So if I can give somebody away the knowledge to save their life, whether it be one of my free groups or, one of my challenge groups, I have to do that. If I can save your life, I have to do that. So I didn't help save her life. I mean, she's still alive. Let me make that clear. But she next month is going to go have gastric bypass surgery because I don't think she's really ready for change. She wants, to do the easy way. I'm not saying the surgery's the absolute easy way, but some people just aren't ready. And that's another thing. If they're telling you no, they're not ready. It's not you. I've had coaches get so discouraged because they hear no all the time. And I have to remind them it's not them personally, it's the person they're asking. They're just not ready. So because I'm so public with Facebook and Instagram, and those are my two platforms, people do reach out when they see me falling off the wagon, which is a lifesaver.
Yeah, that's what I love about coaching. I made a post today. Most of you probably saw it. I'm struggling. I'm on the struggle bus, and I immediately had people commenting and messaging. So I love that we are like, it's not, it's not just me that uses coaching as like the accountability. I think everyone does.
Yeah.
But as like a new coach, I know that it can be kind of hard to like see that. I see a lot of coaches say like, oh, I need to work on me first, but they're not using coaching to hold themselves accountable. Like I know when I don't post as a challenger and I don't act as a challenger and I don't have people like reaching out to me, or if I'm not, helping someone, like me helping someone while working on me is what gets me to keep going, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So another thing that I wanted to ask you, and I know you posted about this a little bit, your son had some issues, health issues too, right?
Yeah.
A few years ago, or a year ago.
A year ago on Wednesday.
Yeah, like some major health issues. But
he almost died.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Because it's coming up to the year anniversary, it is very difficult to try to go back to that kind of where we were. But I will. I mean, why not? A year ago Wednesday, my son woke up early morning saying his lips felt funny, and I sent him back to bed. I thought he was dreaming. I mean, it was like seriously middle of the night, early morning. I wake up for work about 5:30, and he comes out of his room sobbing, and his lips were so swollen. Think those Halloween wax lips that we used to have when we were young kids. They were huge, swollen. I saw a blister here and here, and I thought, well, maybe he got bit by a spider. I mean, we have 15 oak trees in our yard, so spiders are everywhere. So I gave him some Benadryl and some Motrin, and I told my ex, I called my ex right away because, now after that ugly divorce, we are on pretty good terms. For the sake of the kids, it's important. So I called him and I said, Ty woke up with very swollen lips. He's in pain. Something's weird. We need to get him into the doctors. Can you take him in? Because I am a slave to my job. And I didn't think anything of it. So he takes him in, and they say he's got herpes simplex 1, the cold sore virus. I'm like, that's impossible. Normally for that, you got to be in contact with somebody who has it or whatnot. And they're like, has he been kissing anyone? I'm like, no. So Anthony's laughing. So I was like, all right, that's weird. I got off work because, I went in, did what I had to do, and got off work. This is weird because his lips were so swollen. A couple hours after his appointment, all the inside of his lips and on the outside looked like he had been burned. They were blistered all over. I'm like, well, I've never had herpes simplex 1 or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. We were back at the doctor's. They said the same thing. Go get a breather. So we listened to the doctors. We did exactly what the doctor said. It just kept getting worse, and they said it'll get worse before it gets better. The next day he was miserable. He stayed home from school. He hasn't eaten 2 days. The following day it was bad. His eyes were completely bloodshot, swollen. It was now on every part of his mouth. Those with kids think thrush. If anyone does anyone have kids here? Anthony does. Okay, so you guys kind of know what thrush is. So I called the doctor back, and I'm like, it looks like thrush. The swelling is very bad. He can't swallow. When he breathes, it's crackly. We have a nebulizer at our house because my 2 youngest ones have asthma. So they said hook him up with that. They gave us this mouthwash that's supposed to numb everything. But he wasn't getting better. He was just getting worse. So my gut told me there's no way this is herpes. Herpes does not act like this. I had posted about it on Facebook, and a friend of mine reached out and said, take him to the ER immediately. He has Stevens-Johnson syndrome. Stevens-Johnson syndrome is basically where your body is burning from the inside out. And the moment you see it on the outside, it's already on the inside. The crackling we were hearing when he was breathing was from the blisters popping in his lungs. We get to the ER, and I had this friend in my back pocket the entire time. If you guys know Marissa, her son had Stevens-Johnson syndrome, and she sent me the pictures, and I went through her on the journey of her son, and it's horrific. She's like, don't let them tell you it's not Stevens-Johnson's, because that's the first thing they're going to say. And damn it, they said it wasn't Stevens-Johnson's. He finally got admitted. They gave him morphine. He was still in pain. His lips were sealed shut from the blisters, and they kept forcing them open, and they would just bleed. His eyes were almost swollen shut. And we finally get in there, and I get a good doctor who finally listened and diagnosed him with Stevens-Johnson syndrome. They had him now on oxys and Percocet. He was in so much pain. They were giving him Motrin and Benadryl and all the other stuff to keep fever down and all that. 3 days after being in the hospital, mind you, this is now almost 2 weeks he hasn't eaten. 3 days after being in the hospital, the allergist team came rushing into our room. Take him off Motrin, take him off Motrin. Motrin was killing my kid. Motrin. The thing that they tell you to give your child if he's got a headache, not a scrape, but aches and pains, fevers. It was killing my kid. Not even 48 hours after that, they were trying to discharge us. He was finally getting better. Hearing my kid scream and cry because he was in so much pain, and trying to keep the two little ones away so they didn't see their brother burning was horrific. Because of Beachbody, because of the community I was in, and God forbid somebody else's child had to go through that, but because of that, it saved my kid's life, because we would have kept giving him Motrin for pain. They said that because he was still getting Motrin, but also getting Benadryl, that saved it from spreading even worse. And we caught it before the blisters went to his eyes and saved his eyesight. He still has scars on the inside of his lips. He now has arthritis at 12 years old. And we were going to have to meet with a rheumatologist, I think I'm saying that right, soon, because his joints swell so bad. All because of Motrin. The community that Beachbody has given, it's irreplaceable. I'll forever be grateful. And I'll never medicate my child without doing 100% research again. So now we get to live like hippies and do all natural medicines. But yeah, it's a year.
Thank you for sharing. I asked Brandi to share that, y'all, because a lot of people go through stuff. Like, all the stuff. I mean, she's got like a bazillion things that get thrown at her, but she shows up, and she took her time with her family that during all of that. I mean, but she was posting and keeping everyone updated. I mean, I remember we were all following, making sure that we were there to support her. So like, when you need, the reason why I say that is because I know I've been through some bad things too during my Beachbody time, and I lean on the community. Like she said, the community is like nothing else. That's what sets us apart, you know? And I just wanted y'all to know that. Like, I wanted y'all to hear it from someone else besides me, of me telling you that this community is great. Because that right there, like, shows you, you know, not that she wouldn't have been able to get through that without it, because she's a strong lady, and I think she could have, but I think Beachbody also helped tremendously with that. So I asked her to share that, and I know it's uncomfortable. And not something that's, you know, everyone wants to sit there and talk and tell about, but I know that it just can maybe reach somebody that might need to hear it. So thank you. Really, like, I appreciate it a lot.
You kind of sprung that on me.
I know. Well, I was just thinking about, like, I thought that would have been in your timeline, and it wasn't. And I was like,
Yeah. It's I mean, obviously when you go through something that traumatic as a parent, I mean, as a sibling, I mean, anyone close to you, it's really hard. But like I said, if it weren't for Beachbody, I would have never known what to do. I mean, obviously, we would have eventually gone to the hospital. We probably would have gotten more misdiagnoses and all of that. But Stephen Johnson's is rare. But it's not, I mean, it's rare, but it's not that rare because it's on every warning of every freaking medicine possible. I can't give him Tylenol. I can't give him Advil, aspirin, Motrin, ibuprofen. What the heck do I give my child if he gets a fever? He can't get sick. So he drinks Shakeology. Magic potion number 9.
Isn't that all he could, like, when he first started eating food, that's all he was eating, right?
Well, they tried to Ensure, but it was so thick. It just is so graphic, but it would just stick to the blisters. So we watered down Shakeology, and that's how we got him nutrition.
Yeah.
And I kept telling the doctors, I'm like, we have to get nutrition in him. There's no way he's going to heal without nutrition. And they're like, the IV. Well, that's just like fluids and sugar. Like, that's not going to heal. I'm like, your body, because of Beachbody, I learned all this cool stuff. Your body heals from the gut. It doesn't heal from a medicine. So I gave him Shakeology against their wishes, and he got better.
Yeah.
Mama's gut knows best.
Yes. Mama knows best. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Does anyone else have questions or want to say anything? Anyone?
I love you, Brandi. I just need to say that.
Ashley loves you. Anyone else want to say anything? Yes, no, maybe so. Brandi, do you want to say anything else?
Thank you. I was a nervous wreck. I'm still like kind of shaking because I'm like that turtle that hides when it sees its shadow. Like, don't just leave me here in my little shell.
You did amazing.
This is seriously out of my comfort zone. So thank you for pushing me.
Of course. All good things come when you step outside your comfort zone.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Seriously, y'all, thank you for getting on, everybody. Thank you, Brandi. You're incredible, and I'm so happy that y'all could hear her story. And hopefully something speaks to you. You know, if things get hard, y'all, like, life happens, things happen. And I'm not telling you have to be like 24/7 Beachbody, but, you know, if something happens in your family, like, tend to your family, but come back or lean more on the community. Like, let us help you, you know? I know for me, most of you might know this more than likely. 2 years ago, over 2 years ago, one of my best friends was murdered. And if it wasn't for Beachbody, I don't even want to know where I would be. Like, it's really, like, rocked me and shook me. And I know I deal with depression and anxiety, and those depressive thoughts are coming back after everything happened. And if it wasn't for the community and my team and, you know, just people reaching out, people I didn't even know, and they just follow me on Facebook, other coaches, you know, just reaching out, like, I don't even want to know where I'd be. So just know that, like, if things happen, if you're struggling with something, reach out, even if it's just to talk, even if it's just to to have someone listen to you cry, because in all honesty, that's what I needed when everything happened to me. And people did it. People literally called me so I could cry on the phone, or, you know, Zoom while I'm literally bawling crying, even though I'm an ugly crier and I didn't want them to see me. But that's what I needed. I needed someone, and I didn't want to, you know, I was already leaning on my friends that were also dealing with it, and I needed like an outside perspective. I needed someone that wasn't involved, that could have just helped me get through it. So if you are struggling like with anything, like please reach out and know that you have a tribe of incredible people who can literally pick you up when you just don't even want to live. Like I don't know how else to explain it. But I just want to put that out there. So if y'all need help with anything, like please reach out. That's what we're here for. Anything else? Anyone want to say anything? Are we good?
Take a picture.
Oh, take a picture. Okay, everyone smile. I look like a hot freaking mess, but it's okay. Let's all smile. 1, 2, 3. One more. Ashley, I'm leaning this way. You lean the other way. We always lean the same way. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. I don't even know why we lean. Why don't we just stay like a normal person? Why do we lean? We always do that or that.
We rock with it.
Yeah, we do. We always, like, all our pictures are like. All right. Well, thank you all for getting on. I hope you have a great night, and we will see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thank you, Brandi.
You're welcome. Thank you.